Metaphysical queerness means Mackie says that moral properties would be completely unlike any other properties we know of. So Mackie says moral properties would be metaphysically queer because if something had the property of goodness, it would be like the object itself would be telling you to do this thing. He says, an objective good would be sought by anyone who is acquainted with it, not because of any contingent fact that this person or every person is so constituted that he desires this end, but just because the end has to-be pursuedness somehow built into it. Similarly, if there were objective principles of right and wrong, any wrong possible course of action would have not to be doneness somehow built into it. So what I think Mackie's getting at here is that if, for stealing to have the property of wrongness, for wrongness to be this mind-independent property that exists objectively, then there'd be kind of something within the physical act of stealing that's like saying, don't do this. And if that doesn't make sense as an idea, if that sounds weird, then that's kind of Mackie's whole point. Like, it's not clear how a physical action or, the atoms could be like saying, don't do this thing. Like moral properties like wrongness, rightness, goodness, and badness, they would be very strange. It'd be very hard to make sense of how these properties would work metaphysically because it'd be like the object or the physical stuff itself would be saying, do this and do that. And that's generally not how physical, it's just a weird idea basically, isn't it? It's metaphysically queer. Then the second part of the argument from queerness is the epistemic queerness. So Mackie says that even if we were to accept that metaphysically these moral properties of good and bad could exist, it'd be a complete mystery how we would know about them. It'd be a complete mystery how we would know that stealing is wrong, for example, or stealing is bad. So the epistemic queerness argument kind of relates back to More's intuitionism, if you remember from a few moments ago. The problem there was if moral properties like goodness and badness are these non-natural properties that can't be detected by the senses and can't be empirically observed, then how do we know that stealing is wrong, for example, if wrongness is this non-natural property? Well, More's answer is that we have this a priori faculty of intuition, but Mackie calls this a lame answer that doesn't really explain anything. So because of this metaphysical and epistemic queerness, Mackie says we should reject the existence of mind-independent moral properties.